Hey everyone, it's Brano, and I recently came back from the beach, and while I was there, I added a bunch of new mechanics, and one of those being challenge modes and missions for my game Surface Breaker. And doing the playtesting for it, I had so much fun. I really like how my game is shaping up as a game. But when I look at the wish lists, and the last time I checked was 5 minutes ago, I have 153 wish lists. So while I'm enjoying my game a lot, it is pretty clear that others are not interested, or they don't find the game particularly appealing. And this isn't the first time this has happened to me. So with Heal to Death, I didn't get a lot of traction at the beginning as well. It was really only in the final month or two where I started to see a lot of momentum and traction, and that managed to get me onto New and Trending, and a game that I thought could very easily be a flop turned into a game that is going to, with enough time, be a minor financial success. And this is something that could happen again. But I need to accept that it may not. Because while I really enjoy my game, we have to admit as game developers that we have an incredible amount of bias with the games that we make. And while I do many things to ensure that my game is well play tested early and often to reduce that bias, I am never going to truly understand what the average player thinks of my game. I work very hard in order to not make mistakes on this front, but something I learned during my 20s was that there is a very big difference between doing nothing wrong and doing something right. A situation where nothing is wrong is a situation where things are ordinary and boring. A situation where things have gone right is a situation where things are new and exciting. And what modern society disproportionately rewards are those who are sometimes right rather than those who are never wrong. And in order to sometimes be right, you need to get over the fear of potentially being wrong. And if you're like me and you have a more cautious and considerate temperament, you will need to figure out how to make failure tolerable. And part of making failure tolerable is to normalize failure. Now, in the beginning stages of game dev, I believe that it's important to be optimistic and nice and kind and all that. But beyond the beginner stages of game development, I really think that criticism is going to be more valuable than unearned optimism and praise. And even in the beginner stages of game development, I still think that you need to tell people that failing at game dev is normal. As a beginner, failing in the beginner stages is normal. And maybe it's not for you, but for me, I had to come back year after year to try game dev again. So I quit game dev in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2017, 2018, and 2019 before things finally clicked for me in 2020. And during that time, I would have loved to have had someone tell me that failure during the beginner stages of game dev is incredibly normal, and that it may take you multiple attempts in order for things to click. Because it took me a while in order for things to click, but I persisted, and now here I am as a semi-professional. 5 years of consistent game development, and I intend to make games for the next 50 years of my life. And I want to continue to make sure that that is going to happen. But there are a number of things that could make that not happen. Bad health, bad finances, bad work-life balance. Now, I have a reasonable amount of control over all those three things. And I have made sacrifices to ensure that I have the highest likelihood of those not being a problem. But I don't yet have a reasonable amount of control over succeeding in game dev beyond putting in the effort. My ideas still require some luck to be good ideas. My skills are not enough to make up for bad ideas. And so, while I'm working on my ability to control my success in game dev, this is something that is just going to have to take time. So instead of trying to maximize my chances of my next game succeeding, I am not doing that. I am trying to maximize my chances of succeeding in the next 5 to 10 years by minimizing my risks. Slow and steady may not win the race, but it does get you across the finish line. And when you view failure as the norm in game dev, any form of consolation prize is valuable and worth being proud of. And who knows, maybe at some point during this race, you will have an opportunity where being fast and reckless is obviously the correct play. But that is the exception that we all hope for and not the rule. Anyway, if you want a more detailed example of why you should play it safe, then you should check out my video, Why You Shouldn't Quit Your Job for Game Dev, in the description below or on the side. Have a good one, guys. Bye.